Smacking Off the Podcast with your hosts Shannon Madden and Doug Phillips.
This special edition Smacking Off the Podcast is brought to you by Uncle Harvey's Tree Service. Those fucking trees won't stand a chance.
Hey, asshole! This ain't Lucky Lager.
And by Lucky Lager. If it ain't Lucky Lager, you should really just spit that shit out. SEC Football Preview with Walter Bryan, Andrea Charles, Landon Beamon, and James Smith.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with James representing the Georgia Bulldogs from the SEC East.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Yeah, tell us about your dogs, James.
They're going to be doing good. I mean, I think Fromm's going to be the starter. Fields may splitting reps, certain packages throughout the year. Probably red shirt. I think they'll go, I'd say 11-1, drop a game somewhere throughout the season.
I'm not wearing any pants, by the way. I think everybody needs to know that. I just got off the phone with David LaRue in a very tense conversation.
Really?
Yeah.
I've noticed that trend. I listened to the last couple segments. And
What was it about?
no pants.
No, he's talking about, because I was talking to LaRue on the phone, and it's some juicy gossip.
Oh, really?
Oh, I want to hear.
Oh, no. It was about
You're
you.
a jerk. Oh, you're an asshole, Shannon.
What are you talking about? I'm not an asshole. I'm a very pleasant human being. No, I'm a fucking
So where
asshole.
Go Dogs. Go Dogs.
Yeah, whatever. See where that got you last year.
Okay, so the dogs are going to go 11-1. How do you see, James? How do you see the rest of the East falling out?
If I had to rank it, shit.
Are you believing any of this Kentucky hype?
Kentucky.
What now?
Are you believing any of this Kentucky?
We have talked more about Kentucky football this year than I think any other podcast. And I think we should use that as part of our tagline for this podcast, that we discuss Kentucky football more than any other podcast.
I'm buying into Kentucky. I'm sorry.
You don't think Stoops is gonna surprise everybody and pull out 9 wins out of his ass?
No, more like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, I think 7 wins is probably
It's going to be a good season for them.
Oh, that'd be a great season for them. They'll probably try to claim a national championship like UCF did last year.
Well, how do you see the East shaking out? Go down the line and tell me where you think each team finishes.
What about South Carolina? A lot of folks are high on them, myself included. I
think they've got a good shot at finishing second. Actually, I really do.
Oh, I think it's for sure, almost, in my opinion.
I mean, they look
Ain't nothing
pretty
sure
damn
in football, Walter.
What? Are we talking football?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about football. This is not. What were you talking about? The gymnastics.
Were you talking about your equipment again?
I was still on the Kentucky thing, I think.
I was
thinking Kentucky probably win like 8 games this year, but I don't know.
I feel the same. I feel like you're looking at a Kentucky team that you don't see very often. I think it's
and I don't think they'll beat Georgia. I do not think they'll beat Georgia. I think Georgia's a 10-win team, for sure. I hope they lose 1 to Auburn. And maybe South Carolina will give them a test, or more. I don't know. That's a game I wouldn't bet on.
That's a trick game, and I'd say the LSU one maybe.
Also, yes, I agree. So it's a tough road I think Georgia has the toughest road in the SEC East probably because, they also have the task of staying on top, which is, they're supposed to win.
They have a bullseye painted on their back, yeah. Expectations are really high for Georgia right now.
High as I've ever seen them, honestly.
I don't know. They were pretty high during a portion of the Richt era, I think. But, then reality set in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing, to say the least.
So
where else does everybody fall? What about Missouri with that badass quarterback they have?
Now that man, Drew Lock, holy
That
shit!
man Drew Lock is nasty, son.
He's gonna do future. He's gonna be first round pick.
What
I
does
think
what does
there
he
are
do for
probably
Missouri?
3 first-round picks.
What
Yeah,
do you-
but is he able to do anything for Missouri as far as tilting the favor? I mean, Missouri typically fields a somewhat decent defense.
No, because Georgia will play much better defense than Missouri.
Yeah,
will.
well, I mean, Georgia's also stacked to the gills and deep as fuck right now too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
now-
as far as talent, there's again only probably one other team in the SEC that could match up talent wise.
Well,
Position for position on both sides of the ball. Auburn comes pretty close though. Auburn's got some really good playmakers. I'm curious to see what their run game's going to be like this year. But then we'll get in the West here in just a minute.
right.
Anybody else?
No.
Anybody else in the East though that you think might have a possibility of being a contender?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. So it's
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
Georgia, South Carolina, and then everybody else.
Well,
Maybe
if you're
Florida,
talking about
maybe.
national contender, maybe
Oh,
Florida.
national?
Yeah.
Walter, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
What was I saying?
Was that you talking?
Yeah, I mean, you said be a contender, so to me, I assume that means who can win 10 or 11 games.
Yeah, I mean that's about the size of it because that's what it's going to take to win the East this year.
Right.
There's a lot of competition, and probably down toward the second and third tier. You're going to see a lot of basically just the East eating itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't see that many 10-win teams in the SEC East, but I do think South Carolina and Georgia could possibly be 2 10-win teams from the SEC East this year. We'll see. Georgia has a much tougher schedule, but I think Georgia also has the talent. Finally, they're
And they're going to have the talent for some time to come. It looks to be.
Oh yeah.
Landon Beamon,
What's up?
what's going on, man?
What up?
How do you feel about this? What you've heard so far?
SEC East. And his spirit lives on.
That was pretty good last segment, wasn't it?
It was. I enjoyed it, especially Tiki's reaction to it when it initially started happening.
You got that in a doll or something where you pull a string?
Do what?
We need a fucking pipe doll
Oh man.
where you pull it.
Oh,
and
that's the last thing we
Yeah.
need.
I wanted him to Skype me and be on the phone, but it be me on my phone.
You can't do the Skype anymore. Skype sucks balls. You got to do the
Oh,
Google
is it?
Hangout. Google Hangouts is where it's at. If you're doing the Android device, and if you're not, then well,
That's right. I remember the first time y'all called me, it was Google Hangout.
yeah. We still have capability of doing that. We just we've gotten lazy.
So what do you think about what you heard so far about the SEC?
Pretty much agree with everything. The only thing that I may disagree on, and I may have misunderstood, I think the team with the toughest road in the East probably be Tennessee. I think they got the toughest schedule of anybody in the East.
But they
Andrea?
have the lowest expectations also.
I don't know. Expectations in Tennessee are pretty fucking high
they
right
open
now.
up West Virginia, and then they get 2 bullshit games.
Why don't we just get Andrea to tell us about Tennessee?
Yeah,
expectations?
she's our resident Vol in this conversation. Andrea.
Well, we already discussed it. They haven't even named the starting quarterback yet, so
this is
their
true.
expectations are kind of hanging in the wind, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that they haven't named a starting quarterback doesn't change the expectations, though. I mean, we're completely delusional.
Shit, I guess.
I mean, we are, because I just want to.
You just want to win.
Well, I do want to win, but I also want a team and our fans to give our coach and the new system a chance.
Well, you've got a good coach. You have a good
Oh,
coach.
I know. Oh, I know.
I'll endorse that myself. I think Jeremy Pruitt will help Tennessee. I don't know
Oh,
if he'll
I
change
think
it
he will
completely.
too.
He don't take no shit off nobody. He's a good coach.
Well, and
No,
again, though,
I think he is-
I would feel better if Phil Fulmer wasn't looming in the background, though. As far as his chances of who he is really as a coach, unfettered and in complete control of the program, because we know that's not the case.
Yeah, you're afraid he might tell on Alabama again. Probably.
What is he going to say about Alabama that's not being said in a fucking chat room right fucking now? I mean, really. He pays the players. He pays the refs. Who gives a fuck?
James, what do you think of Pruitt?
Pruitt's gonna change it around. I think. They're gonna start winning games actually now. they're gonna.
As a
It's gonna
Georgia
change the course.
As a Georgia fan, you're not happy to see Pruitt at Tennessee.
I'm not happy, but I'm not too worried at the same time.
I tell you what, Auburn plays Tennessee this year, and I don't want to lose to them. I think they can field enough talent to, if you make a lot of mistakes, they'll beat you.
That
no
one's
doubt.
in Jordan Hare. Auburn will win in Jordan Hare.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't see Tennessee winning at Auburn.
I don't see
I mean,
hardly
I'd love
anybody
to.
winning at Auburn until the NCAA comes down and figures out what's going on at Jordan Hare, because there is definitely they're pumping something in the air or
They're
something
paying the
down
refs.
there.
Carbon monoxide.
No, fuck
on
paying the refs.
teams.
I think they're poisoning opposing teams or some shit. Putting some LSD in their water, or I don't know. There's some fuckery going on there, and I wish it was investigated, but whatever.
There is some fuckery. You're right about that. The good teams play horribly at Jordan Hare sometimes.
Yeah, but look, I mean, seriously though, look at last year and look at the way they completely demoralized Georgia, and then you go and
But look at the mistakes Georgia made.
Well, and this is true too. And why did they make those mistakes? Because they're on fucking LSD that was in their goddamn water. That's what the fuck's going on here.
What?
Ready to feed the puppies, Mom? Ready. Let the weigh out of the bag. Here goes.
The taste of Puppy Chuck Wagon. It's enough to bring puppies running. They love Puppy Chuck Wagon's crunchy rings, meat-like morsels, and the delicious gravy when you add warm water. Want to give your puppy great taste?
Let the weigh out of the bag.
Puppy Chuck Wagon. It brings puppies running.
Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenshannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack Line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team. Gosh, you know that girl, they have a lot of cows down there too, the mushrooms. You ever had mushroom tea? That will fuck you up, man.
Let's see if we can get a unified agreement on the SEC East. Or we're looking at Georgia at the top. Is this consensus? South Carolina second?
I'd put South Carolina over Florida just because of the unknowns. Florida.
Yeah. South Carolina's that they looked great last year. They're on returning a lot of starters, and they've seems like Muschamp's got he's finally found his niche.
So who's third?
They've named their starting quarterback.
So we know that Andrea thinks Florida is probably third. Does everybody agree with that?
Florida or Tennessee. I'll say Florida or Tennessee.
I like Tennessee. I like Tennessee third.
I would love to have Tennessee third. But
I'd like
think
to
it's
say
probably
that.
Florida.
Yeah, I'd like to say that, but then I'm looking at this three game gauntlet here. They travel to Georgia, travel to Auburn, and of course they host Alabama at home.
Yeah, and then South Carolina, right?
Talking about Tennessee, I mean they got a tough ass schedule.
And then right after that they play at South Carolina.
Right.
At South Carolina. So yeah, that's those 4 games right there are fucking
But if
brutal.
they beat Florida head to head, and if they beat Kentucky head to head, and Vanderbilt as they should, they could be sitting there.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're going to finish sixth. I would put Tennessee fourth. I'd go Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, Vanderbilt.
And it's a shame.
I forgot about them.
I think Kentucky's going to be a little bit better than that.
You think who?
Kentucky.
Well,
they got a
Missouri
beast of a
and
fucking
Kentucky.
running back.
They do.
Well, Kentucky's got
It doesn't
explosive
really matter.
offense.
That's true. They really do, but we're the
I mean, we
SEC.
know they're
We're
going
all
to lose to
supposed
Florida.
have
We
good
do know
defense,
that,
right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Tennessee's going to beat somebody. I don't think
Vanderbilt.
Tennessee just gets wiped out.
I'm going to guarantee on this show right now that they're going to beat Vanderbilt. They're going to go on the road,
I agree, Shannon.
right down the street, and beat Vanderbilt. So I think we're good there. And there's your SEC win right there. The streak is broken.
So you think they're 1-7 in the SEC this year?
Yeah, I mean, 1-7. I don't know that they host Missouri at their house. Of course, they've got a hell of a quarterback to contain, but they're going to have quite a bit of practice with that in week 1.
Missouri blew them out last year. I mean, I was shocked when I saw the score. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you remember who their coach was. I wasn't shocked.
Butch
That's
is
the
my
game that got him,
favorite
wasn't it?
coach in the SEC.
No, Kentucky.
I'm not even going.
Yeah.
Kentucky game got him.
Yeah, that hung him on the cross.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not coach the next game after Kentucky.
Who, Butcho?
Right. That's the one that officially got him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was going anyway, but that's the one that went ahead
Butch
and
should have been gone 2 years ago. Honestly, I mean, I never bought into Butch Jones. I couldn't see it like for the whole 5 years.
Andrea was a fan the whole time. She was like a fan right up until the very end. In fact, she still wishes that he was coach.
For some reason, I doubt that.
Yeah.
Well,
he can clean the
thing
fuck out of a car.
They had all but fired him anyway when they set his budget for the new offensive coordinator at $500,000. That was a load of no confidence right there.
Yeah.
So you're saying go out there and do your best with the very best that you can get for this little bit of money.
Yeah, they definitely had some bad things going on at the top too. The athletic director, I mean, Tennessee was in a bad shape. They were in a mess. You're right.
It was a mess.
You
I mean,
gotta
if
be
nothing else, it's got to be straighter, right?
Yeah. Phil Fulmer's there to save the day.
You can
Shut
excel
up.
if you
Fat
do the right
motherfucker.
thing. If you put a person in the right job, they can excel. And he's cleaning the fuck out of some cars down in Tuscaloosa right now.
I saw that. That was my picture on Facebook for a long time.
Andrea, you would be excited to know that we actually had Kimberly on our last segment, and we tried to get her to talk about her mom squirting from being fingered by Phil Fulmer.
What the fuck?
Well, I was at Kimberly's over the weekend, and I may or may not have more details about that, but I can't share them with you.
She shared a few. She actually shared a few with us.
Yeah, you can share them with us.
You actually should. That's kind of why you're on this program.
Let's hear some squirting. I'm down.
Yeah.
Her mom is a lovely lady, and she's never allowed to listen to the podcast.
Then that's all the more reason to talk about her squirting at the hands of big fat Phil Fulmer's fingers.
If we started bleeping these parts out, at least the name, would that make a difference?
Yeah, fake profiles won't say anything.
Fake profiles would say things all over the place.
Getting fingered by 2 fingers from Phil Fulmer is being like fisted like from a normal guy.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, he's got big fingers.
That's some big old greasy hamburger gripping fingers right there, buddy.
Don't say any names either, because I might know some of the people.
You don't want to hear this.
You know some of the players involved in this this scandal. Yeah.
No, I know some relatives of the Fulmers.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So we can cross reference this story.
No.
You need to ask them next time you talk to them. Remember, ask them if they remember back like in the 50s or the 60s when Phil was dating
this. 1969 or 68. It was not.
I'm sure at the end of the night it was 69.
Let's move on to the SEC
it was
West.
Probably
guys.
in Knoxville, to be honest.
Yeah,
probably in Knoxville.
Yeah, it was.
Landon Beamon, how you feeling about the SEC West? Aloha, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Barring any freak injuries, I mean, I see Alabama winning it. I see Auburn finishing second, Mississippi State finishing third, followed by A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, and Arkansas.
Wow,
I agree.
You got LSU way down the list there.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I see it. I mean, I could see LSU.
I think you're right. I honestly do. I really think you're right. Coach O is not he's not the guy to save it for him down there.
Fuck no.
Nope.
I could see him get
by the end of the season, he'll be fired.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends. Again, if he's able to eke out 8 wins, then yeah, I guess he'd probably stick around for one more year. But he'll get a stern talking to at the end of the season. I'm sure that 8 wins isn't enough to.
And a $49 million pay raise.
Well, I mean,
But LSU has the talent to win 8 games. So I mean, you can't just overlook LSU and say they don't.
I think LSU has the potential to win 9 games this year.
Yeah, I mean,
I really do.
I'm not speaking to their talent at all. They've definitely been able to recruit down there, but I'm just saying that Coach O's not the guy to bring it to them.
Trust me, I hope they never fire him. I hope he stays there forever because he does so much with the state of Louisiana with recruiting. I mean, he's not even Les Miles used to have state of Louisiana on lockdown.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Bullshit. Matter of fact, Georgia just got a running back commit about a month ago. 5-star running back right out of Baton Rouge from there.
Emory
Jones, yeah.
Walter, how do you see the SEC West shaking out?
Well, I mean, I pretty much agree with Landon's list. I think you got two contenders, and I think it's Auburn and Alabama. It comes down to the Iron Bowl again, possibly. I mean, that's the way it usually shapes up.
And if Auburn,
I think Auburn can win 9 games or more.
If you think Auburn can win 9 games, do you think they go into the Iron Bowl with 9 wins?
Well, I think they beat Georgia. I think they beat Georgia in Athens.
Because you know about
in Athens between the hedges.
Because if we're going to go with trends here, and Auburn,
the biggest question mark to me first and foremost is this huge matchup we have coming with Washington. I mean, that's all I've been thinking about this week.
Yeah.
Because it's a loss if we don't come out and play well. Washington's a good team, so I'll just go on record.
Washington's a great team
on
both sides of the ball.
I don't want to hear none of that bullshit afterwards if we lose.
But I want to go ahead and throw this out.
Or, like UCF wasn't no good. I don't want to hear that bullshit because Washington is a pretty talented team, and if Auburn beats them, yes, I think we go into the Iron Bowl with 10 wins.
But here's the thing.
Fair enough.
If Auburn goes into the Iron Bowl with 9 wins or more, and I want to get Landon's take on this, Saban's never beaten a 9-win Auburn team.
Yeah, I know this.
I know you know it, Walter. You talk about it some. I've actually mentioned it a couple times.
0-7, actually, right? 0-7.
Yeah.
So you wonder what it is, and it's just that Auburn has the ability to put together a really good team.
So you believe in trends like that, Landon?
Well, Doug, I mean, my response to that would be, there's a first time for everything.
There ain't been a brand new Squidbillies episode on the television set for putting on 9 months, baby. Got any idea how many angry tweets I get on this subject? Angry. 9 months. Hell, you can make a human baby in that amount of time. And it ain't right for my voice to be out of the public eye for that long. It ain't fair to my public. I think I best get on down there to Meth Atlanta and see what the hell the problem is.
Our audio-only podcast is hosted at podcastgarden.com/podcast/smackingOff. Or find us on Google Play Music.
And it depends on Alabama's record leading into it also. If they're undefeated, then they got everything to play for also.
Yeah, I mean, we could lose another linebacker against Louisville, lose one next week against Arkansas State, and be down like 6 linebackers like we were last year and have to pull from the fucking baseball team and end up getting skull fucked. So, who knows?
You could have had Hamilton or whoever out there, and KJ still would have drug you for 148.
I don't know about that.
James,
Jalen lost the Iron Bowl this year. I'm going to say it for all Alabama fans that are still in denial.
Oh, of course he did.
And I'll tell you why. Since we're previewing the West, I'll tell you, Auburn released their depth chart today for the upcoming Washington game. And when you look at it, I mean, across that front 4 on the defense, you got Nick Coe, you got Dontavius Russell, Derek Brown, and Marlon Davidson. Now, them big dudes can get after it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Auburn's wheelhouse. That's what people talk about.
Auburn's always had a nasty D-line.
Well, and again, but the most important name out of all of those on the defense that you didn't mention, and that's Kevin Steele, who has done a remarkable job as DC down there.
Phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have defensive recruits. I mean, our defense is studded. I'm telling you right now, to all the non-believers, when you put your offensive line out there and try to block those 4 that I just those 4 alone, not to mention the rest of the defense, you got your hands full. And that's what Auburn does. They give you backfield. They're hard to block. They upset your rhythm, a sack or 2 maybe, and it's just basically they fill all the run lanes with big, fast, athletic dudes. So Auburn generally outrushes their opponent when they win, and it's not just because of the offense. It's because that defense is a shutdown type defense, I think, in Auburn this year. I'm interested, whoever's on here right now, I want to hear y'all's Washington-Auburn prediction right now.
Well, as an Alabama fan, I'll go ahead and tell you, you have one Alabama fan actually pulling for you in that game. I hope you skull-fuck Washington.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
saw you.
Skull-fuck them.
I saw you on the threads over at #FamilySmack.
They have a right guard that's a 2-star, so I imagine Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown will fucking annihilate his ass. And I hope they do. I really do.
that's the key to this game coming up. I think is how good is Auburn's defensive front, and we're going to ride that all year. That's going to be our bread and butter. I hope we've got issues, along the offensive line, only returning one starter. A running back's a big question mark for Auburn because KJ was epic.
He was something special, no two ways around it.
Carry on and Cam Petways, I mean, they were bruisers. You could give them, 30 carries a game. Cam Martin, I don't know if he's that type of back to give 30 carries a game to take over a game like those two were.
He may have to be though, because that's Malzahn run the shit out of them. Those running backs.
He will. He will. Carry on had a lot of carries last year, like 285 carries or something like that, and he missed a couple games.
Yeah.
So.
Let me get James's take on the Washington Auburn game.
Man, I've been going back and forth with that game. I mean, it's a flip of the coin at this point.
It is.
I feel like it's going to be really close too. I feel like you're looking at a mid-20s score. The team that wins is going to be in the high 20s, and the team that loses is going to be in the lower 20s.
Well, here's the thing that I looked at. One thing also with Washington, what are the ways that Washington can win this game? And it does start with their offensive line. Can they block that front four from Auburn? And who will outrush the opponent? Like I mentioned, Washington has a really good running back in Myles Gaskin. I don't know about their offensive line. I really don't follow Washington, so I'm not their biggest fan.
And you haven't even mentioned their badass quarterback. They've got Jake Browning.
Yeah, Jake Browning. I think everybody knows about him. And Chris Peterson with an E. Spell it right if you're going to say it. Chris Peterson with an E he's in my top 5 personal coaches.
That's one advantage I gave Washington over Auburn would be the coaching advantage with Chris Peterson.
Yeah, I really like Chris Peterson. He'll leave Washington sooner or later, but yeah, he's a really good coach. And I think if it comes down to a field goal, you think about that, who has the better field goal kicker? If it comes down to Anders Carlson hitting one from 50, do we have a better chance than Washington? I mean, it's a bunch of little things. I think Washington will come out hitting.
Isn't the line 3?
Yes.
Yeah, it's close, Brett.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, Andrea?
I feel that since Tiggy said it was going to be 55 to 24.
Yeah.
I did think it was going to be close until then, and now I think Auburn's going to win.
They're going to win 88 to -40.
88 to 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Tiggy also called Washington an elite Power 5 program.
Yes, of course. They are elite. They have no national championship.
They are elite in the state of Washington.
In the state of Washington, they're a
they're
big
the
deal.
shit.
Yeah, they are.
But you know what? They would be favored by 2 touchdowns if Alabama played Washington in Washington.
That's what he said. Yeah.
That's the type of dumbass we're dealing with. So.
And he didn't understand that quarterbacks could actually get worse over time and not naturally progress to uber status.
Yeah, Joe Montana will tell you that.
Let's go ahead and get James's take on the SEC West and how he thinks.
I didn't get a chance to give my score prediction for the Auburn-Washington game.
Yeah.
Nobody
before
ever
we,
asked
Before
me.
we leave this, I just want to say that I do think Washington has the sweetest unis in the Pac-12. I'll give them that. I'm not a Washington hater.
You like the purple with the silver trim?
Like Oregon?
Yeah. No.
What about the Ducks? Yeah,
Oregon.
Fuck them Ducks.
You would, wouldn't you, Shannon?
You don't know what I do in my spare time with my penis.
Okay, go ahead, James. Tell us about the SEC West.
Can I fucking tell my score prediction?
Yeah. You could.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not even saying it anymore. Fuck you.
No, come on.
Go ahead.
I'll give my prediction after the game.
Okay.
After the game.
No, I honestly believe that Auburn's going to win this, and I believe they're going to win this decisively. I think they finally get the rhythm playing over in Atlanta, especially with a largely home crowd. They have all the keys to make it a decisive victory. I really honestly believe that it's probably going to be more like I don't know, I'm thinking like a 28-10 affair, Auburn. I think their defense is able to shut Browning down.
So
we've seen really good elite defenses shut Browning down before.
Essentially, what you're saying is we won't hear from Tiggy for.
Yeah, Tiggy will officially log off the internet for like 4 weeks.
Oh, he'll end up blocking me on.
Yeah, he'll probably block all of us.
I know he will.
All right, now we're going to get James's take on the SEC West.
James, take it away.
All right. Bama, of course, going to win the West. No biggie. No surprise,
Mississippi
actually.
State second, right?
Auburn second.
Oh fuck.
Oh well, I don't know. It could go either way.
I'm just messing around. I'm just messing with Walter.
You're just joshing.
That's it.
I don't know. That could
Auburn
go either
thinks
way.
Auburn is first. Auburn thinks Auburn is first all the time. So
Okay.
I don't know. No, I think Auburn fans have kind of tempered that with a little bit of reality as of late. I mean,
but the reality is we have a really, really, really good team right now.
damn good team, and nothing to be ashamed of. It's just unfortunately you have to share the conference with the perennial, national, a national championship, at least appearances.
And I stick up for the SEC, against other conferences. I still think SEC, particularly the West, is the strongest division in college football.
Yes.
So, absolutely.
Yep.
And
I
Auburn's
agree.
one of the better teams.
All right, go ahead, James. Finish up.
Finally.
Mississippi State's gonna be a dark horse.
How dark?
They could make. I can see some upsets.
Like
But are
LSU?
they a dark?
Do
You what?
I have them listed 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a dark horse anymore. That's expectations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but nobody really believes they're going to do it now. I mean, people do keep saying that they're good, but nobody really believes that they're going to be.
We have to go to Starksville, so Alabama does too. I don't know if Alabama's worried about the game, but it's definitely marked on my calendar.
Play them in Tuscaloosa this year.
Yeah, we play them in T-Town.
Oh.
Yeah, there will be no cowbells there. They're going to be, trust me, the metal detectors will be up at every single gate, making sure that the cowbells are stuffed back in the car. Probably they'll just take them away from them and throw them in a big trash can.
Or
right.
maybe
They
they'll
belong.
smuggle them in piece by piece. And
Yeah, I know where they're going. I know where they're going to smuggle them in at.
Shit, Alabama will sell them for $1 at their own damn stadium.
All right, James, 4 through 7.
Yes, about something that's going to change your whole way of life. The new Honda Prelude with 4-wheel steering. Look what it does. The parking, this is the trick. As you're turning this way, the back wheels go the other way, which means that you don't know which way you're going. The car knows, but you don't. But you could keep in touch with it because you could see how the wheels are turning. You can't see because you should be looking this way, but the wheels all of a sudden are parking you into a place you never got into before. And all of a sudden you say to yourself, how did this happen? You can't believe it. Neither could I. It's an amazing thing how this happens.
Are you irritated with something we said on the podcast? Well then fuck you. Call the Smack line and tell us all about it at 304-508-BAIT. Don't be a pussy fuck boy. Call the Smack line today. Messages left on our Smack line will be used at the end of Smacking Off the podcast episodes.
Going back to Mississippi State, I'm sitting there looking at their schedule right now, and I see a potential for just 2 losses in the regular season. I really do.
For Mississippi State?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really
I
do.
agree.
That's
I think they're
the Auburn game and the Alabama game. I think every other team they should be able to handle. Well, I mean, again, there's a question mark because they have to travel to Death Valley and play LSU.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. But then again, we'll have a really good.
Where do they
handle
play Texas A&M?
They're actually playing. They're playing in that at Starkville.
Okay.
The cowbells will be ringing for that one.
Yep.
But the one plus for Mississippi State is that they have named their starting quarterback already.
Too bad he can't even play the first game.
And they've got a strong defensive front. They got a defensive tackle that's arguably the best player in SEC.
Oh, dude,
according to many.
Real quick, everybody shut the fuck up and let's let James finish this real quick.
I feel like that was directed to me.
No,
we already know who they are.
Because
it's Ole Miss and Arkansas bringing up the ass in.
Okay, go ahead, James.
Forceful Doug.
God damn you! I hate you, Andrea.
I know you do, sweetie.
Shut your mouth.
So, let's hear your take on the Alabama fans. I mean, you've been picked to win the SEC by everybody here.
I still haven't heard James's picks on the.
Yeah, James has still got some important picks to make.
He keeps talking, but
to win the SEC West.
Yeah, Bam's going to win the SEC West. The bottom 3: LSU, A&M, and Arkansas.
Okay, so you ain't looking at LSU to do very much either. I thought last time you were on, you were saying that LSU might upset your Bulldogs.
Yeah, still, I don't know.
You thought better of it?
Yeah, I was thinking more about it. I'm not sold on him.
LSU named Burrow as their starting quarterback. I saw that.
Yep.
LSU may be better than we all think.
Be surprised.
Nah.
Andrea, do you want to chime in on the West, or is it going to make you emotional?
Why would it make me emotional?
To have to talk about Alabama in such glowing tones.
I didn't expect to. He had the same order that I kind of foresaw.
You took Alabama, winning the West, Andrea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. Alabama, then Auburn, then A&M, or Mississippi State, A&M, Arkansas, Ole Miss. I mean, LSU is above Arkansas. So Arkansas, LSU, what, 5th?
You know, everybody would be picking Arkansas a lot higher right now if Gus Malzahn had been named their head coach. I'm just throwing that out there. They would be second from the last.
Well, Arkansas has a lot of unknowns, and I don't know what Ole Miss is playing for because they're on probation. I mean, they have a postseason ban.
You remember that one time that Auburn went undefeated? Terry Bowden does. Terry Bowden talks about that any chance he can get.
Here would be an interesting subject. For Andrea, pick a team that you think Tennessee's going to beat that nobody thinks they're going to beat.
Georgia.
You think they're going to beat Georgia?
Well, that's the one. Okay, if I could pick one right this second, it would be either Georgia or Alabama. I just don't see them beating Alabama. Alabama's in their head, and I don't. And despite what Shannon says about Philip Fulmer, I know it's just because Philip Fulmer's so
He's a fat piece of shit, is what he is.
Okay, to that I got to say this: sicker, James.
I ain't even want to worry about that. I mean, we got DeAndre Swift, we got DeAndre Baker, Jake Fromm.
Tennessee's fucked. Is that what you're saying?
Tennessee's fucked again.
Again, Andrea.
James, who do you see sneaking up on Georgia and getting them this year? That nobody thinks will.
Say Tennessee.
No, that's not going to happen. That's not real.
Who?
Carolina.
Ooh, that one worries you.
Interesting.
Because we got to go there week 2 at them.
Okay, Walter, which big road games is Auburn going to lose this year against top 10 teams?
Which big road games is Auburn going to lose?
Mississippi State.
I said earlier the Tuscaloosa game, but you know what? Everybody else picked y'all to win the SEC West, so I'm going to change my pick. And
do that.
I'm just telling you, y'all are all going to look stupid when Auburn wins the SEC West.
They're going to lose against Mississippi State and Starkville. That's going to happen, actually.
And Doug will put these clips back in at the year-end previews and say, look what Walter said.
Yeah, fuck Walter. Fuck Walter.
I'm just following the trend. We won it last year. We're going to win it again. We're gonna show.
But if you're gonna follow trends, now there is the Saban never beating a 9-win Auburn team, but there's also the fact that Auburn hasn't beaten a top 10 road team in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could be Washington. It could be Washington this Saturday. We'll see.
I think it will be. I really do. I'm feeling good about it, but at the same time, I think Auburn's trap game is going to be at Starkville.
Landon, where does Alabama slip up? Is that going to be Citadel?
Man,
that Citadel game's tough.
They'll beat Louisville by 20.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think.
Honestly, a game we could slip up. Maybe Mississippi State at home.
Yeah, that's after LSU, and LSU's always a physical game, and it usually goes down to the wire, no matter how good LSU is.
Yep, exactly.
Especially when it's down there.
You could also slip up against Auburn at home too.
Nah, we can't do that. That can't happen. We can't.
At least he's consistent. I like it.
Yeah. Hey, Auburn is coming. Auburn is gunning. This is the best Auburn team that I've seen. I've a confession.
Since y'all bought that quarterback.
Well, hold on now. Isn't that usually when it goes haywire for Gus?
I was about to say.
Well, tell me the last team that you think Gus had that was actually this good.
That one where he bought that quarterback.
2013, but nobody knew it, and nobody knew it before the season. But 2013 was a good team.
Yeah.
Well, that was Trey Mason. That was Trey Mason for all the football followers out there. 1,800 rushing yards or whatever it was.
And since then, really, it's been underachievement. Last year, I mean, Auburn almost walked into the fucking CFP as the first 2-loss team.
And beat two teams that were number one during the course of the season.
But to have as much potential as I've seen Auburn when they played at home, especially in November, to finishing with 4 losses. I mean,
yeah, the UCF game is a lot uglier than it should have been.
Well, they finished with 2 losses because they had to reading into it. But yeah, the SEC championship, we were there. I mean, we stood on that field last year, and that's where we want to get back to. And I think that we have the pieces to do it. It's definitely a gauntlet in the SEC West, but anybody that's not picking Auburn as a contender, I guess they didn't watch football last year.
Auburn's a contender.
I did. I watched the hell out of that UCF Auburn game. It was awesome.
Auburn's a contender.
It was back and forth. UCF.
It was back and forth like a dick in an asshole is what it was.
Hold on now.
We all consistently picked Auburn to be second in the West. I mean, and that's not saying they're not a contender.
No.
It's just saying that the hurdle of getting past Alabama is going to be a hard one for them.
It is. It is every year. It is every year.
Yeah, I know. I like that. I like the slight amount of bitterness that was in your voice when you said that. That made me hard.
It is every year. I'll tell you another confession. A few years back when I saw Derrick Henry debut for the Crimson Tide, I knew right then we weren't going to win.
Nasty
boy. Iron Bowl for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so happy to see Derrick Henry leave Alabama. But, this ain't – we're here now. Auburn is a good team now. We've got the pieces. If you break it down schematically, and I don't know, I know a lot of you guys break it down schematically, but Auburn has playmakers. Auburn's got speed, and they have a talented quarterback.
And a nasty defense. Nasty defense. Can't speak good enough enough good things about the defense down at Auburn.
Well, they still have 2 wide receivers already tore their ACLs.
They do, yeah. We're dependent on freshmen coming up this week to maybe contribute a little bit. And Nate Craig Myers, I'm going to throw that name out there because I've been waiting on him to step up for like 2 years.
A couple years ago. I understand.
Yeah, so I hope he makes some big plays this year. I'm really big on Darius Slayton, and I'm really big on Ryan Davis. You can't say enough about Ryan Davis.
Ryan Davis, nasty.
Just go back and look at the Iron Bowl. That motherfucker tore some ACLs out there, man.
He did.
I didn't watch the Iron Bowl after I watched it that one time. I was done with it. I was done with it.
7 true freshmen have to whip Georgia's ass in the national championship, so I feel you.
Oh, yeah. Got to step up, man, if you want to win.
They can play.
Amazing freshmen that I've seen. Anthony Schwartz, one of the fastest players in the country. So Auburn has a few tools. We'll see if, the coaching staff and the...
Are you picking your Tigers to win the SEC?
To win the SEC West.
Who's going to win the conference?
Well, I got to go Georgia versus Auburn because I just picked it. It'd be a rematch, and it's highly unlikely, but I'm not going to secede.
Georgia versus Auburn, and Alabama goes to the national championship.
That's possible.
Excellent.
It's possible.
It is very possible. I saw it happen one time.
Nah, it won't happen again.
Nah, you're probably right.
If the same shit happens this year, Alabama gets left out, guaranteed.
Well, then now you say that now, but you don't know what week 12 is going to look like as far as win-loss records.
True.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
11-1. I don't think Alabama gets left up.
This commercial will prove to the women of America that Beauty Miss Pantyhose can make any legs look like $1 million.
Now, I don't wear pantyhose, but if Beauty Mist can make my legs look good, imagine what they'll do for yours.
Somehow, everything looks better through Beauty Mist.
Especially your legs.
See, I work construction. I build things. Do you understand how important that is to the world? I don't know if y'all realize the pressure a man like me's got on him.
Doyle Hargraves Construction. Area code 304-508-2248. Quality craftsmanship. Affordable price.
Told you 3 times already. The law's on my side.
I still can't believe y'all are paying that guy $50 million.
It all depends on the like last year.
Y'all got suckered. God, y'all got suckered.
So,
y'all should have sent him off to Arkansas.
Actually, Gus is our identity, really, at the Auburn Tigers because we were pretty dull until he came in with his, spread read option pass scheme. I mean, he's one of the reasons Auburn has, 9-10 consecutive 1,000-yard rushers. I mean, so everybody that jokes about Gus, they're over. He's really a pretty good coach.
I was listening to a lot of you Auburn fans joking about Gus after he lost to LSU last year.
I don't get that. Auburn fans turn on him quick. They really do.
Yeah, they turned on him in a big way last year, and all the way up until he started actually, winning some key games toward the end of the season, when it seemed like they were just about all but done as far as national championship aspirations.
To me, the question mark is, who are you going to replace him with? If you cannot find a better alternative, then I say roll with the Gus bus, man, because he's not that far off.
Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see in about 12 weeks when we're 8-4, and we'll revisit this conversation.
That could.
Go ahead.
I said, what loss do you see Auburn taking this year that you could see Auburn fans calling for Gus's head? I asked Easterwood this on last podcast. I want to get your take.
The Washington game. If he loses this Saturday, fucking Auburn fans will call for his head. I mean, that's just the nature of it.
I think that's fair.
Fair.
Y'all are paying him $50 million, so
Yeah,
that's hard. That's hardball money.
The expectations are high in Auburn too, and if you ever go to Auburn, you'll see. I mean, they expect to win some conference titles and to be, highly talked about. I mean, Auburn pumps out players. We got talent. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we have that many struggles with the head coach right now. I think Gus Malzahn's not everybody's favorite, but it could be a lot worse.
Well,
I just think he's getting paid too much. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think that he's making too much money for what he produces.
True. Well, I don't think I would have gone 7 years either. I mean, in this instance, pretty much with what he's shown the country, particularly the past 2 years.
Well, what he's shown, though, is, from a true Auburn fan's perspective, what he's shown is improvement, because we've gotten better at every position, year after year. Ring the bell is the motto at Auburn when you have a game, a personal best, and that's, they're getting better down there on the plains. They're not nobody's stepbrother, but you can't close your eyes on Auburn. They'll beat that ass.
This is true.
I've watched enough Auburn games to know Auburn, to me, is one of the most exciting teams to follow because their games are so intense. Usually, we're ready for a fight. That's what I told Piggy the other night. I mean, Auburn's used to this. This ain't nothing new. We may not be blue blood, but we play the blue bloods all the time, so we're ready for it.
That's why I'm a big UAB fan myself.
Yeah.
Shannon, you're a dummy.
Y'all shut the fuck up. Just let me live my dream, all right, please?
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. I mean, I like to feel that I personally brought UAB football back to life, but whatever.
But what I was wanting to know, what I was wanting to get out of each of y'all is, do you have a prediction for the winner of the conference championship game?
You better know mine.
Yeah, yours is Alabama. Walter's is. Are you going with your Auburn Tigers to beat Georgia?
I'm going with my Auburn Tigers, but honestly, I don't know. None of us know.
No. Of course we don't. None of us know any.
This is just for funsies. We're not going to hold you to this, but we are. Well, we are going to hold you to this.
Yeah. You can hold me to it. I'm Auburn every day.
We will.
Okay.
That's your fault,
James. You feel like your Bulldogs are going to get it done this time? Well, you actually got it done last year, so. Yeah. It just don't feel like you did, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can do it again.
That's it.
But you think they're going to be playing Alabama, don't you?
But I think, yeah, it's more than likely going to be Alabama. This go around, we actually get revenge on them,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Andrea.
Oh, I can see that.
Come on, Tennessee's going to squeak in there.
James has a good point. I can see that. That would be the first assistant win over Saban, though, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yeah, I can't see Georgia.
I don't see. I actually really, I could. That's the first time I ever thought about it that way. I don't know if that would happen. If Georgia and Alabama make it, I
think Alabama's the better team. Personally.
I think that they are too.
Andrea.
I mean, not that I like it.
Andrea, give us a roll tide real quick before we hang up.
Yeah, please.
No way. Philip
Come on.
Homer.
Why not? I mean,
No.
you know, I like to feel that we have a friendship and a camaraderie. And, you know, I would definitely give you what do they say in Tennessee?
Nothing sucks like the big orange.
Nothing sucks like the big orange. I would yell that from the highest rooftop.
You guys are assholes. This is the last time I come on here and talk serious football with you.
This is this is absolute horseshit. We're going to talk serious football every single week. In fact, you're going to be our new weekly contributor.
Oh no.
Yes, I think.
No, but it was. I do think that I think that Alabama will go on, but I think that it would be interesting to see if Georgia makes it. If it's Georgia and Alabama, if Georgia makes it into the college football playoffs with 2 losses, then.
Ooh, shots fired.
Where are those 2 losses going to be?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Hold on now. Alabama didn't get in with 2 losses last year. It was 1.
No,
loss.
right. I know, but if it's I don't know. I just think that'd be interesting because I like to see the Big 12 and the Pac-12 and the Big 10. I like to see them all get left out.
Well, you know, it's interesting because last year in the SMAC rooms, I predicted that there would be 2 SEC teams in the CFP, and most
you
people
got
didn't
laughed
believe
at
that.
too, didn't you?
Most people didn't believe that, but as it turned out, you know, Georgia and Alabama both made the playoffs, and that could happen again this year. But I think you definitely have to say that the SEC champion.
Now, hold up. Now, you can also make a claim that Auburn made it to the playoffs because they played the eventual national champion.
Right. Had
UCF.
they beaten UCF, they would have that. What's that championship?
The life championship.
We did play 3 national champions last year. That's true.
Winners.
This is very true.
Now I know 2 of them. Where's the third one?
Georgia, if you ask a dog.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got you. All right, guys, man, this has been fun.
Yeah,
it wasn't very informative, but it was fun.
No, I learned all sorts of things.
Okay, it was informative shit.
We learned that everybody still picks Alabama,
and that's what's important.
Hey, and you did, and you did too.
Podcast.
And I'm going to highlight that you did, and you changed it in the middle.
Well, I'll change several times probably between here and November, but
hey, I will too.
Hey, before we end this segment though, Andrea, just real quick, roll tide. Just go and do it.
It is never going to happen, Shannon.
Shut this shit.